have a fun video. We're going to be talking about the new iPad 10th generation that was just announced last week by Apple. They announced two new iPads, this one and the iPad Pro with the M2 chip, but today we're just going to be talking about the iPad 10th generation. So this is an upgrade from the baseline iPad, the 9th generation, and this is a newer and improved version, and we're going to talk all about it. So let's just get started with some of the specs. So this iPad starts at $449, so a little bit more expensive than the original iPad, the 9th generation, that was $329. This one is also 10.9 inches. It is compatible with the first generation Apple Pencil, which we will go into in a little bit, and you also get a better camera, the A14 Bionic chip, which are both upgrades from the last iPad, and it is compatible with the new Magic Keyboard Folio that came out, which I will also be talking about later in this video. You also have a new landscape ultra-wide front camera on this iPad, which is interesting because usually the camera is in portrait mode, but this iPad kind of takes after the MacBook and it is in landscape mode, which is interesting. And I think we can see that Apple is kind of trying to make iPads act a little bit more like laptops in that way. So that's a really interesting new addition to the iPad. And you also have a USB-C connector on this iPad, which means that all iPads now have the USB-C connector, which is great, and it was a much needed upgrade for this iPad. This also comes in four gorgeous colors. We have silver, pink, blue, and yellow, all with matching Smart Folio cases, which I've talked about in my previous videos, how these are my favorite cases. I just love them. They're so well made, and the colors of these are gorgeous. I do just want to quickly touch on each of the colors because I was blessed with all four here, so I do want to show you them. Of course, we have the silver, very classic, simple, beautiful, not the most exciting, but it's very minimal. We also have the yellow, which I was personally the most excited for. I still do like the yellow, it is cool, but it is a little bit more gold than I was expecting. I kind of wanted it to be more of a brighter, lighter yellow, but it does come off a little bit more gold in person. We also have the pink, which I love a lot more than I thought I would because I'm not a pink person, but this pink is very bright and vibrant, and I think it's a great shade of pink. And we also have the blue, which I did want to compare to the iPad Air in blue, and it is much deeper and richer and brighter than the iPad Air, so that's just kind of an interesting comparison if you were curious. Overall, all the colors are very bright and vibrant and beautiful. So this iPad may not seem very exciting compared to things like the iPad Pro and the iPad Air, but it was a much needed upgrade from the baseline iPad. In my opinion, the 9th generation iPad was starting to look a little bit outdated compared to the other iPads that are on the market now. And this updated iPad looks and feels a little bit more on par with the iPad Air, even though it doesn't come with a lot of the features that the iPad Air has, like the M1 chip and the compatibility with the Apple Pencil 2. It is still a very great device and a really amazing baseline iPad, although the price did jump from $329 to $449, which I know for some people is kind of annoying that it keeps going up in price, but I feel like that's just what is going to happen over time as Apple continues to up their technology. Therefore, the price is going to keep going up, and I think that's just a trend we're going to have to get used to. So compared to the last baseline iPad, you have a better camera, a better display. It is also compatible with the new Magic Keyboard Folio that they also announced, brand new, and this is an upgrade from the original Smart Folio case. It has a much better design, a better feel, it's way more sturdy and better quality. It's way more on par with the Magic Keyboard, but at a little bit of a lower price at $250. And this Magic Keyboard Folio case, such a long name, only is compatible with the iPad 10th generation. So it's only compatible with this. I tried to use it on my iPad Air and it doesn't work. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're making your purchase. It does come in 2 separate parts, so you can detach it and move it around and twist it around to the back, which I really like having that 2-piece setup because you can easily take off the keyboard and just have the backing on the iPad, which is one of the cons to me of the Magic Keyboard is sometimes I don't want the keyboard on, but I have to take the whole thing off and then I don't have any backing or case on my iPad. So that is a pro to the Smart Folio case. While there are a ton of amazing upgrades to this iPad compared to the previous 9th generation baseline iPad, there is one major con for me, and that is the Apple Pencil situation. So basically on the previous iPad, it was compatible with the 1st generation Apple Pencil, and you could just plug in the Apple Pencil right into your iPad to charge it. But since this new iPad got the upgrade of the USB-C port, you can no longer charge your 1st generation Apple Pencil on the iPad. So you have to purchase a separate adapter to charge your Apple Pencil, which in my opinion just seems to be a little bit annoying that you have to have yet another piece of equipment. I think it's around $9 or $10, so it's not the most expensive thing, but it does just seem like a weird solution to this issue. I don't know why they wouldn't just have the Apple Pencil 2 with this iPad. I'm sure there's a great reason that I don't know, but I do think it is a little bit annoying that you have to have this separate adapter and cord to charge your Apple Pencil in rather than the previous version where you just plugged it right into the port, or the version on the Apple Pencil Generation 2 where you can just snap it to the side of your iPad. So that is just something to keep in mind. I know for some people this may not seem annoying, it may not bother them at all, they might say who cares, but to me it does seem like a little bit of a design flaw or a poor design choice. I'm sure there's a great reason behind it that I just don't know, but to me I much prefer having the Apple Pencil 2 on like an iPad Air or something like that, and that is a major con for me of this iPad. As for my overall thoughts, I think it is a great update from the previous baseline iPad that we had before. We have a better camera, better design, better screen. While it may not seem like the most exciting drop, I do think it is a good update that kind of just needed to happen aside from the whole Apple Pencil situation. Still not really sure about that, but aside from that, I think it's a great iPad for most people, whether you're not ready to spend on an iPad Air or maybe you just don't need some of those features. I also really love the new Magic Smart Folio Keyboard case. I think it is a great upgrade from the previous Smart Folio case. Overall, I think this iPad is a great choice for most people who don't need any fancy advanced technology. They just want a basic iPad to do, some of these everyday things like go on GoodNotes, watch YouTube, Netflix, etc., and maybe have a couple other little fun design apps or drawing apps. This would be a great iPad for you. I think where you're going to make your choice between this and the iPad Air is of course price. The iPad Air is more expensive, but the iPad Air also does come with that M1 chip and the Apple Pencil 2, which I do think is a bit of a game changer. But it all comes down to a personal preference, what you want to spend, what features you're going to be using, how you're going to be using it. So definitely go to Apple's website, look at the comparisons, check them out. But I do think this is a great iPad, super beautiful and stunning. Of course, we love the new design upgrades. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about it below. What are your thoughts? I'd be curious to hear, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.